everybody. Good evening to you. How are you? Hope you're having a great evening because what are we doing tonight? Well, Chantal. She was doing the water fasting, wasn't she? Well, that's over because she posted another mukbang video called Roasted Chicken and Mashed Potatoes. So, did she scale back the portion sizes at least? No. What happened to the diet meals? She did like one diet meal and then I guess we're back to regular food. Yeah. So everybody that said that the water fasting was not going to last, the diet food was not going to last, well, we were proved right, weren't we? Look, I've got so many thoughts about this. So many thoughts. I had so many thoughts running through my head earlier. I just didn't have the time to put them into a video. I was thinking about doing an independent video, just going completely off on Chantal. But you know what? Since she posted this food video, I'll put them here. So please just give me a few minutes to say my thoughts. You know, Chantal, everything to you is content. Absolutely everything. All of your personal issues, all of your physical problems, all of your ailments, content. You look at everything as content, especially anything negative. And because you consider everything content, you look at everything as being not serious and a complete joke. Anybody out there that's ever had diabetes or known someone that had diabetes or even someone that has a BED, you know that neither one of those things is a joke. And Chantal's over there with all of her health problems, and there are many. She has diabetes. She has BED that's yet untreated. She hasn't sought out any kind of therapy, any kind of counseling, anything for that. And as long as that is ongoing, as long as that bee monster is raging out of control, all of her health problems are going to continue. So I have a question for you, Chantal. Are you interested in life or are you interested in death? Because I'm going to level with you. I think your fascination with death, it goes beyond you liking watching videos on YouTube of plane crashes and watching people lose their lives. I think you're fascinated with death. I think you're literally flirting with death right now. You're batting your eyes at death and saying, call me, we'll do lunch. And you know where death is? Death is literally standing right behind you, breathing over your shoulder. It's that close to you, and yet you don't care. Where a lot of other people would say, I don't want to step off this mortal coil because I'm very interested in living. I want to be on this side of the grass, enjoying life. You've absolutely given up. And you can't say it's because you don't have access to resources and help and knowledge and education. You have access to all those things. It's just you don't care. You really don't care. You know, YouTube is a platform that people use to reach out to other people, to make videos, to be entertaining, to pass along their favorite recipe or their favorite idea or do it yourself situation. You know what you're using the platform for? You're an addict using the platform. You're misusing it to do your addiction in front of the public. You want everyone to watch you be an addict. And worse, you're expecting YouTube to pay you to do this, and you're looking for people to enable you, either through verbal support or by super chats. That is absolutely misusing and abusing the platform for services not intended. And YouTube, you should be stepping it up and doing your job and enforcing the policies that you put in place, by the way. I'm also going to say something a little harsh, but it's true. When all of us sit down to watch Chantal doing her eating videos, what we're really watching, everybody, is a snuff film in very slow motion. We're watching somebody slowly unalive themselves, little by little, bit by bit. And where are we now? We are at a place where anything could happen at any time. And by me pointing out that what she's doing is slowly unaliving herself, it's not me wishing her to pass away. But every time Chantal does a mukbang, that's what she's wishing. That's what she's wanting to happen, because she's not putting the brakes on. She's pressing on the gas pedal. I'm just here to react to her. I'm here to give my thoughts. There's absolutely nothing that I or any other reactor or audience member or any of her subs can do to stop her from hurting herself. She's got to be proactive in helping herself. No one can stop her. Every day that she does a mukbang, she's making the choice to step closer to death as opposed to back away and step closer to life. And I'm also going to go on record saying this. Chantal, you like to say that the reaction channels that we're a bunch of haters. Can I just let you know, ma'am, I have absolutely no interest in seeing you stroke out or have a heart attack on live. I don't want to see it. And I don't think anybody else wants to see it either. I think that would be traumatic. Am I interested in seeing you get your karma? Absolutely. After what you did to BBJ and Sam, you deserve every bit of retribution and karma that's coming to you. And I think it's absolutely wonderful and justifiable that now the pet that you hurt and you neglected so much, she now has everything you do not. Where she has health, you have no health. Where she has a safe, clean, happy home, you don't. Where she has people around that love her, you absolutely do not. Everything valuable in life now belongs to BBJ, not you. So BBJ won. You can sit there and rage about it all day long. BBJ won. And she's going to keep winning as long as you decide that you want to continue on with this kind of content. But understand the Grim Reaper is just that close to you. And you're not doing anything to make him back off. You're pulling him closer. You're flirting with him. You practically want to have a dance with him. Well, keep flirting. There could come a day where he'll take you up on your offer. It could happen anytime. Anyway, I'm going to give some further thoughts in this react. I mean, I'm not done yet. But before we get into the actual video, which I got a lot of thoughts for, let's go briefly onto Twitter and just briefly cover some of the stuff I found on Twitter, people giving their thoughts about the whole situation. Kurt Katie says, I think Chantal should give up the healthy act and admit that she doesn't give a crap and just wants to live her life eating whatever she wants until she passes away. You know, if she did, that would be a moment of truth out of her. I think she's given us everything but the truth. But Chantal, she likes to troll the audience. She doesn't care about her health, but then she has moments where she pretends to care. And why is she doing it? Is it any coincidence that she's pretending to care and she's getting everybody riled up and talking during one of the best months of the year for making money on YouTube? She wants that extra money. She wants that extra engagement. She wants the reaction channels covering her more. So maybe she gets extra money in her pocket. That's why she's doing this. The whole pretending to be healthy thing has nothing to do with Chantal having that wake up moment and caring about her health. Has everything to do with finances and her wanting to increase hers. She's not going back to Canada and showing us her true, authentic, feral, disgusting, rotten dumpster self. No, she's determined to hang on to Salah. So since she's in Kuwait, there's only so much she can do. So let's just try to lightly rile everybody up and increase those views for the next couple of months. Now, for anybody who's a VIB, are you guys getting it now? She doesn't care about her doggone health. She treats it like a joke. Anybody who comes online and pretends to care and says they're going to do a water fast when really that's something dangerous for Chantal and then turns around and does a mukbang, they don't care. They want you to be concerned. She wants you to be worried for her. She wants you to give her attention. You know, she's making your blood pressure go up, but she's doing nothing to control hers. It's all fishing for attention. It's all about making people worry over her. But apparently she's not worried about herself when she should be. Just playing with the audience in a very negative way. But a moment of honesty where she says, hey, I'm going to eat until whatever happens. That a moment of truth and honesty would be refreshing. This is from Bruh. Chantal, yesterday during the water fast, I don't feel hungry. Chantal, today, after quitting the fast, yesterday I was ravenous. So the last time Chantal did these diet meal things and did the water fasting, all that did was prompt her to have a severe B moment with food. She does have a pattern. She does have a cycle. And so far, everything that I've seen, we're not seeing anything different. We're seeing the same things now that we've seen before. That's why nobody believes her. We're not seeing anything different out of Chantal, not in her behavior, not in her eating, not in her attitude. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. And Chantal likes to play games. She likes to make people angry. But at the end of the day, Chantal, when you sit down and you eat 5,000, 6,000 calories in one sitting, the only person who's suffering is you, not us. We're not affected by your calories. You are. So if you want to eat yourself right into a hospital, that's a choice you're making. But I don't think you should be doing it on YouTube in full view of the public. If you're going to do this crap right here, at least have the decency to go offline and do it privately. And that way, anybody who perhaps has diabetes, you're not making a joke out of their condition. And anybody who's got a problem with food, you're not making a mockery of that either. You want to stuff yourself stupid? Do it off camera. Don't do it in full view of the public. Nobody wants to watch you get sicker and sicker and bigger and bigger. Nobody wants to see that. We want your karma, but we don't want to see you have a heart attack on live. Do you understand? You know, and we're not morbid like you. Absolutely not. DX says, Chantal caved last night and couldn't finish her fast. Woke up in the wee hours of the morning and had a B moment with sugar and instant noodles. What'd I say? What did I say? What'd I say? She's going to go without food? Waking up, what's she craving? Carbs. Carbs. Craving those carbs. I'm sure there were other things in the kitchen she could have eaten, but what's the rule that I told you guys? If you have naughty foods in your house, you're going to go for those first, just because they're there. You could have fruit and bread and everything else in the house that may be a bit better. But if those naughty foods are there, you'll reach for those first just because you can touch them. So she had a B moment with sugar. Told you, she's a carb addict. And instant noodles. And those instant noodles, there's no nutrition in them. None. Absolutely none. This is interesting from Hidden Truths, saying she's going to be angry. Well, she's already angry. She doesn't just get angry, she gets hangry. Okay, diabetics avoid foods to avoid. Everything on here is something that she would eat, that she does eat. Soda, French fries, bacon, milk, canned fruit, potato chips, ketchup, hamburgers, pancakes. What else? Oh. Look, I'm not laughing at diabetes. I'm laughing at Chantal because all of this stuff is stuff that she would eat. That's what I'm laughing at. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Diabetes is no laughing matter. It is serious. But just knowing how much she loves food and she loves carbs, everything on this list is something that she does eat and she's not going to stop eating. And for her to omit all this stuff, she's going to be in trouble. To go without sugar and carbs and even like high sugar fruit, I mean, it's going to be impossible. That's where the giggles are coming from. Knowing that she just can't do it, especially without help. D. Angry Scott says, oh, the payoff from the water fast came quickly. Yeah, okay. She was on it for 30 hours. What payoff? Actually, you know what? If you think about it, what did the water fast lead to? It led to her having a B moment. So instead of the water fast being something beneficial, it went the other way. It turned into something bad. It led to something bad. So it didn't benefit her at all. So she starved herself for 30 hours, then woke up in the middle of the night to eat a bunch of carbs. Yep, sure did. Because she's a carb addict. And it's hard to break, too. Being a carb addict is a biatch. That was me not too long ago. Like for 6 years, that was me. And that's hard to break, the sugars and everything. Hidden truths, Foodie Beauty, people are begging her to go home or have Salah take her to the ER. She won't listen. Okay, so this person says, have Salah take you to the doctor ASAP. If he doesn't want to bury you, he will take you whether you want to go or not. This is blank, Chantal. I lost my daughter to blank. I am so sorry. I can't see that person's name, but whoever you are making this comment, I am so sorry you went through that. Not this way, but it's just as bad. That dream you had must have meant something. Think of your loved ones. Again, whoever this person is, I am so sorry for your loss. But Salah will never take her to the doctor. Even if Salah took her to the doctor, what can the doctor do, honestly? The doctor can take tests. They can prescribe medication. It's that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So a doctor can talk to Chantal and say, this is what you need to do to correct your health. They can do the blood test. They can do the physicals. They can tell Chantal exactly where she's at health-wise. They can only do so much, but she's got to go the rest of the way, and she's got to be committed, and she's not. It's really sad. People in her comments, her own Beezers, they have more concern over her health and what's going on with her than she does. They're fighting harder for her life than she is. And that's something you Beezers need to get through your head. You have more concern for this woman than she has for herself. She does not care. Every time she does a mukbang like that in front of me, she's saying, I don't care. I don't care about myself. I don't care about my health. I don't care about you Beezers. I don't care if you're worried. I don't care if you're concerned. I don't care if you log into my channel and you listen to my ragged breathing and you see my loss of mobility and you get worried. I don't care if you worry. I want you to worry. I want to stress you guys out. Chantal lives her life in front of a camera. And if you want to know the truth, and this is just my feeling, I think she wants to step off the mortal coil also in front of the camera because she doesn't want to die alone. You know, in her head, she's some big YouTube star. So she lives her life in the spotlight and she will lose her life in the spotlight. I know that's harsh to say, but it's the truth. If she gave one whit about herself, she wouldn't be doing stuff like this. Okay, another comment from another person saying, my uncle went untreated for his type 2 diabetes and had to have several toes amputated. Oh, I am so sorry. You seem to not understand the severity at all. Go to a doctor, Chantal. If diabetes was so easy to control on your own, diabetes wouldn't be so prevalent. Yeah, Mr. Dr. Armchair over there, which is now Dr. Blue Couch. Chantal, if you knew everything about everything, if you had the power to heal yourself, why hasn't it happened yet? Why not? If you're so knowledgeable and all-knowing, why are you so sick? Obviously, you do not know what you're talking about, and you need to surrender and say, I am in over my head, and go to a doctor and get treated. You also need to have someone around you that you could talk to about your BED, and you need to go to an inpatient facility and check yourself in because your problem with food is out of control, completely out of control. So the diabetes is a problem. The weight is a problem. But I think the out of control eating is the biggest problem. You need to chain that monster. It's only getting bigger and uglier and more in control of you. Seriously. If you care, you'll do something. If you won't, you'll let it rage out of control until something gives. Another person says, Chantal, you can't be eating potatoes. You should just have had chicken and a salad. So, big question, Beezers. Listen, I don't understand why those of you that are on Chantal's channel support Chantal. She's a mean, nasty, vile, evil human being. She might have some of you fooled because of the way she's acting right now, although there are clips to show who she really was back in Canada. But despite all that, okay, let's just go forward. Beezers, question. How do you feel about going to a channel where the person you're watching stresses you all the way out? Like it's always stressful. You can't relax. She's doing content like this. She wants you to be worried over her. Constantly worried for her welfare, although she's not worried. Chantal's channel is not about being chill and coming and enjoying yourself. It's about constantly worrying over her. She's on a path of self-destruction. She gets on YouTube doing her self-harm content, and that's exactly what it is. Self-harm content. She gets on camera and she hurts herself with these large portions and her out of control eating problem. What's happening to her? It's not a question of if, it's a question of when her body gives out. And all it would take is one thing to go wrong, and then everything else in her body is going to follow. So big question. Do you want to be around when that happens? I mean, wouldn't it be traumatic? I'm just saying. She doesn't care about her health, and she keeps pushing her body at the point where the Grim Reaper might take her off camera. It might take her on camera, but do you want to be around if it happens on camera? Because I don't think you do. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Her karma come and paying her a visit, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to see her stroke out on camera. I just don't. I just don't. Okay, I'm not morbid. All right. Rubber Band says the level of power Salah has in Chantal, he doesn't even realize it. Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. She's scared crapless that if she goes back to Canada, he'll find a new woman. He's already got one. He's already got one. The tarot readings that I've been doing on him, Salah, who is that woman with the blonde hair that's really, really close to you? Like, she doesn't have to worry about a woman showing up. She's already there. He's already talking to somebody. Her health means nothing compared to a man using her. Well, you know what? I beg to differ just a little bit. I think as far as the whole using thing, I think it goes both ways. I think she's using him for companionship because she doesn't want to be alone. And given her health and her size, she needs a caretaker. And she doesn't want to pay that big money for a real, certified, professional caretaker. No, she's going to pick somebody off the street and pay them a base amount, and they will act as her caretaker. So she's using him for content, for companionship, for caretaker duties, and he's using her for the money. So he doesn't have to work. So the using is going both ways. Okay? They're using each other for different things and different purposes. All right, so that's it for everything on Twitter. Let's go on over to the video. It's a doozy. I'm telling you. I got my thoughts though. I'm not holding back tonight. I'm just not. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm going to let her have it because this is nonsense. Okay. All of this is nonsense. All of it. All of it. You just make sure that I am more. Okay, there we go. There's her scameo. All right. So let's get to, shall we?
Hope to hear from you. Bye.
Okay. Chantal.
Why are you looking at me like that? You're in the way. What can I do?
You know what? Can I say something about that monitor? Can I just go on a rant about that monitor? What is the point of monitoring your blood sugar when you sit down and you eat a platter full of food? Why bother monitoring your blood sugar if you really don't care about your health? You're just putting on a show. You're turning your diabetes into a spectacle. You're making it into a joke. It's not a joke. Diabetes affects a lot of people, and it's quite serious. For you, it's content, and it's a joke. Not a joke. But I don't see the sense of you showing your blood sugar readings, and then directly after that, you dive into a mukbang.
Okay, guys, so this is my fasting blood um, for today. I'll explain in my video coming up right now.
You don't have to explain nothing. You don't have to explain anything. We all know you're an idiot. You don't care about your health. We all know that you're focused on catering to a certain subset of people in your audience that really you shouldn't be catering to. You have a bigger section of your audience that they are just there to talk to you. They actually care about you. God knows why, but they do. But you don't care about them. You care about those fetish guys. They come onto your channel and say, I love the fact that you're eating and eat more. So as long as you're catering to those people, as long as you are determined to gain more weight and make yourself more unhealthy, as long as you continue to put tags on your videos to signal those people to come watch you, there's no sense in doing stuff like this. You can't do this. You shouldn't do this. Sit there and pretend to care about your health. At the same time, you are signaling that subset of people to come and watch you. And you do things in your videos that cater specifically to them, like eating from a platter, girl. A platter. Really, that's what we're doing now. A platter. A platter of food, not a plate, a platter. Because that's what they want. The more food you eat at one time, the better. Catering to those people that don't give one whit about you. They care about their fetish. And if you're not fulfilling it, somebody else will. If you're not around, they'll find somebody else. They don't care about you the way you think they do. And at this point in time, I don't even know why you're catering so hard to them, because with everything that I've seen, you're not making money. Your views have gone down. Your money's gone down. Why are you catering so hard to those idiots? But go right ahead and cater to them. Make yourself more unhealthy for no random reason.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So yes, I am eating something because let me tell you what happened last night. Okay, so actually I'm having my one meal here, which is salad that has like lettuce, olives, cucumber, tomato.
If that's your one meal, then what's the platter all about? Why is that there? Shouldn't you just like stick with the salad? Why do you have an entire Thanksgiving turkey platter in front of you? Y'all look. Y'all look. Look how much in the way of mashed potatoes is on that plate. There's like a little bit of protein on one side, and the rest of it is mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, what do you say to that? What do you say? Like I said, every time she does a video like this, she's saying, I don't care about my health. I don't care because I want to eat. Eating is more important than living. Eating is worth dying for. Obviously, that's her train of thought. You know, the Grim Reaper might be sitting directly behind her saying, go ahead, girl, eat that food. Do it. Because I'll be seeing you later. Probably sooner than later. And no, I'm not wishing that upon Chantal, but She's wishing it upon herself because she's not stopping. And she could, but she's not. So do as you will, foodie.
Some soft cheese, pomegranate seeds with a vinaigrette dressing that I made. I have some mashed potatoes with homemade chicken gravy and a roast chicken. So let's dig in. Bismillah. Let's try this salad here. I made it with pomegranate molasses, olive oil, salt, pepper. Mm. Very good. The pomegranate seeds just add like a little crunch and a bit of sweetness. Mmm. Sit. My little sidekick. Let's try these creamy mashed potatoes. Put a little bit of butter, a little bit of cream.
Why do you have to try the mashed potatoes? They're mashed potatoes. You've had mashed potatoes before. Let's try the salad like you've never had salad before. Let's try the mashed potatoes like you've never had them before. There's no trying. You know what they taste like. Oh, there we go. Okay. Freeze frame, y'all. So she just ate the salad. Did you guys see that extreme reaction off the salad? Mm-mm. Where was the extreme reaction coming from? The mashed potatoes, the carbs. Like she just had a moment with herself. Look at her eyes flying right open. Carbs. Carb addict.
Comfort food. And it's homemade.
The thing is, how can you call it comfort food? Why is this comforting to you? You know how bad your health is. Knowing that every time you put a fork of anything you really should be having in your mouth, how can that be comforting? How can you sit there on the floor with your legs splayed out because you can't put them together? You got to sit on the floor with the box on your lap. How can you be comforted knowing that you're hurting your body? Knowing that it's screaming for help? You know you shouldn't be doing this. You know this is messed up. All the signs are there that your body needs help. Yet you ignore it because somewhere in your mind, Chantal, you think, I'm untouchable. I'm unbreakable. I can do whatever I want to my body and it will put up with it. Well, it's trying. It's trying real hard, but you're making it extremely difficult to keep going.
And I tried to watch how much butter and salt I put.
Girl, what? You're worried about butter and salt. And yes, I know those are things that are not good for her, but she's talking about watching the butter and salt at the same time she's eating that much in the way of mashed potatoes. Maybe on top of watching the butter and salt, you should be mindful of your portions. You know, not eat all them mashed potatoes.
What I'm going to try to do is have like a measurement of salt that I'm allowed to eat per day.
What about carbs? You're going to measure out the oil and the butter and the salt. What about the carbs? Where was the measuring cup for this meal? Where was it? You know, like a healthy meal is, you know, mostly greens. You got a portion of protein and you got a little bit of carbs. A little bit. Not 3/4 of a platter. That's too much. Where was your measuring cup when you measured out this meal?
And do not exceed that. Maybe like half a teaspoon, which is hard. Anyway, my fasting, I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. I had the worst pain in my stomach.
Yeah, it's called hunger pains. That's something your stomach is not used to because you insist on feeding yourself every 2 hours. Your stomach has never experienced actually being empty. So it might have been freaking out a little bit. Oh my God, we're empty. This is a new sensation. You'll adjust, but you didn't want to adjust. You didn't like your stomach growling, did you? Not at all.
And the worst headache. And I know that's the detox symptoms. But
Yep.
like, I'm like, I have to eat something. So last night I was craving oranges. So I had an orange sliced up and a piece of soft cheese, the squares.
Why cheese? Why did it have to be cheese? Why? Couldn't be something else that's healthy? No, I had to go for the unhealthy stuff. And cheese is one of her trigger foods. Like she's got some things that are her favorites, and those favorite things are her trigger foods. Cheese is right there at the top of the list. Cheese and carbs. Got to have cheese and carbs with everything all the time.
And this is bad though. I had a package of noodles.
So we went from the orange to the cheese. Now we're having the pack of noodles. You had a bee moment. Yeah. One little thing led to something else, led to something else. This is what happened when you did the diet meals. You confessed to us that you did the diet meals, you ate the diet meals, but they weren't satisfying you because the Binge Monster said, where is what I really want? It wasn't satisfied. So to satisfy, you ate again. You had a huge Binge moment. And here we are. You tried to water fast, allegedly, and it led to another Binge moment. Just one. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Let me tell you something. This is not me making fun of any kind of addiction, but usually when somebody is addicted to something or they got a problem with something, whatever they tell you, they did. Double or triple that amount, and you can pretty much figure out exactly what they did. So if you're talking to someone, for example, who is, say, an alcoholic, and they tell you, well, I only had one drink. Well, they probably had 2 or 3. So Chantal's over there saying that she had 1 packet of noodles. It was probably 3. She don't want to say it though.
And that stopped the nagging, the pain, the nagging. But then today you saw my blood sugar reading a bit higher than usual. So the noodles, the orange is sugary, but the noodles are bad. Processed carbs. If I do have to eat, I want to try to stay away from that. But it was just like
I'm laughing at her lies. So she did a pack of noodles. Her blood sugar reading went up. And she's worried about the processed noodles, but what is she eating right now? She's eating all of those potatoes. You don't think that's going to make your blood sugar spike again? It will. How can you sit there and say you're worried about a pack of noodles at the same time you're eating mashed potatoes, Chantal? You got to avoid those carbs, girl.
I'm trying to eat what we have, and I didn't have anything quick. It was like the middle of the.
You know what? If you're sitting there in the middle of the night and you care about your health and you're surrounded by naughty foods and the temptation is right there. If you really gave a crap about your health, and if Salah gave a crap about you, even on the level of, this is my cash cow, this is where I get the milk. If he cared anything about you and you went to him and said, hey, listen, I'm feeling hungry. I need to eat something healthy. He should have gone out and gotten you something healthy to avoid you eating anything unhealthy. If for any other reason, because as long as you're around, he gets paid. So I'm sure if you woke him up and said, go get me some food, he would have done it. If you did not want to eat what's at the house.
Night. So but I did fast for what, more than 30 hours before I ate?
That wasn't true fasting. She probably slept for most of that. She considers the hours in which she sleeps to be fasting. That's not true fasting. That's just her sleeping. You can't even really count her sleeping hours because Chantal eats before bed. So while she's sleeping, her stomach is full. It's not empty. You can't really count the sleeping as fasting if that's going on.
So not bad. It's pretty good.
You know, I think she purposely eats right before bed because when you go to sleep, if you got a tummy full of food, it takes longer for the stomach to digest the food because there's no moving around, there's no activity. She is so hyper fixated and concerned about making sure her stomach stays as full as possible, as long as possible. So if that is her mentality, if that's what's going on, I mean, that's a way for her to accomplish that. Just fill up the tank before you go to sleep. And that way, when you wake up, you're not that hungry.
And then now I'm fasting for 15 hours.
No, you're not. You know what? That's a lie. I don't believe you fasted for 15 hours before you had this meal. Nope. Because if that were the truth, you would be devouring this meal. You're far too relaxed. You're far too casual. You're eating way too slow. That tells me you ate something before this meal. You had a meal before this one. If you had fasted for 15 hours, all of that would be gone in 5 minutes. And it ain't. You're picking at your food.
I'm not as ravenous as I was yesterday. My gosh.
That's because you ate today. You broke your fast. That's why you're not ravenous.
I'm going to start with like intermittent fast before I go full fasts. I don't think I'm going to eat the skin.
Not Chantal over there saying, I don't want to eat the skin at the same time she's devouring all those mashed potatoes. Girl, what's that skin going to do to you? that the carbs are not? Worrying about a little chicken skin at the same time she's going to consume like 3 or 4 cups worth of carbs.
Honestly, the gravy kind of tastes like Swiss chalet. I make the best gravy now.
I don't believe you made that. So let me get this straight. You fasted for 15 hours. And then after your fast, you got in the kitchen and you had the patience and the energy to home make a meal. Don't believe that either. Lies.
I didn't put as much flour.
You didn't put any flour. That does not look homemade to me. That looks store-bought. Like it came out of a can or a jar.
Like 1 tablespoon. Instead of 2 or 3. It'll be interesting to see what my sugar levels are tonight later.
Again, why bother with the with checking your levels? Why bother with it if you're going to sit down and do something like this? If you're not willing to go to seek out treatment for your eating problem, if you're not willing to go to a doctor and get completely checked out and listen to what they have to say and really do everything you can do to correct your health, what is the point of looking at that monitor? Just for show, just for content? You know, it's all a spectacle to you. Like, why even bother?
Anyway, that's the deal. I said I was going to try fasting until I couldn't take it anymore. And since it was impeding with me being able to sleep, after I ate, I slept like a baby. What I've noticed is that my thirst is not as bad as before.
Well, that's because you're a diabetic. And from what I understand, if you're diabetic and your blood sugar is too high, you'll be excessively thirsty. So maybe that's why you were thirsty, because your blood sugar was entirely too high.
I used to be so thirsty when I would just gorge on junk all night or eat really.
She's talking like it's past tense. She's talking like her gorging on junk food happened 2 or 3 years ago. You still gorge on junk food. You may do it on camera, you maybe do it off camera, but you still do it. And you're probably still doing it right now, and that's why we got multiple water bottles going on. Are you that thirsty, Chantal? Is that why you've got 2 water bottles sitting in front of you?
Really unhealthy things. And I would even have dreams about like trying to run to a place.
Finish your
And
thought.
someone would have a huge glass mug of ice water, and I'd be chugging it in my dream, and I'm not feeling that relief because I'm not drinking in real life, right?
Okay, something personal from me. So if you have BED, sometimes your own mind will screw with you. I used to have dreams about eating food, junk food, in my sleep. I'm laughing about it now, but it wasn't funny then. I can laugh about it now because it's over. But I had dreams about eating junk food. I had a dream once about eating peanut butter cheesecake, eating the whole thing. I've never had peanut butter cheesecake. But can you imagine your own mind screwing with you? You're trying to fix this problem, and then you go to sleep and you dream about food, and then when you wake up, you want the food? Yeah, your whole mind will screw with you. So it sounds like her mind's doing kind of the same thing to her. Hence why you need therapy.
So I would wake up, drink 4 bottles of water, but not eating processed stuff as much. I'm not as thirsty. Speaking of nightmares, last night well, I guess it was like morning by the time I slept. I had the weirdest dream. I had a dream that I was like in a huge mall, okay? It was overwhelmingly huge. And for some reason, I was not dressed. I had no hijab on and like no pants on.
Sounds like your insecurity is coming through your dreams. Like, I'm not a dream analysis, but so you dreamed about being in a mall surrounded by people and you were essentially exposed. Maybe that's something coming through your subconscious where you're lying so much and you're trying to hide everything so much that in your dream you were exposed. like people could see you for what you were. The whole filter thing, Chantal, you live in a world of delusion and you use filters to do it. And you think that filters cover up everything. They don't. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's any apps or filters out there that can disguise your bad breathing. I don't think that there's any apps or filters out there that can disguise your lack of mobility. There's no apps or filters out there that can disguise the fact that you're getting bigger and bigger and unhealthier and unhealthier. You can hide a little bit, but you can't hide everything. At this point, I don't even know why you try, except maybe for your own benefit, where you think, I've got them fooled. Nobody can tell how big I'm getting or unhealthy I'm getting. Oh, yes, we can. And you hate that. You hate the fact that no matter how much you lie to yourself, the lies you tell other people do not get believed. And that world of delusion that you live in, the veil is getting thinner and thinner to the point where more and more people can see through it. It's almost translucent by now. You know, the lies are not important. The world of delusion is not important. You need to start just living in truth, or not. Because as I said, the Grim Reaper, he's ready for you. Do you really want to meet him? Are you really that eager to say hi? It seems like you are. You say you care about your beezers. Do you really care about them? If you did, you would care enough about them and yourself to do something about your health versus talking about your issues. Stop talking about it and be about it. Or don't. And what will happen will happen.
And I felt like completely panicked. It's the worst thing could happen to a hijabi. So I can't see. I don't know what's going on with my hijab right now. I'm like, I need to find a clothing store for obese women, and they have to have hijabs. So I'm looking for a place. I come across this clothing store, and it was like multi levels. It was huge. It like stopped at one point, contiguous on another side of the mall. It was weird. And for some reason, I'm like running on all fours to the store, and it was like called like Pink Llamas plus size store. So I go in, and there's all these people.
You know, the thing about dreams, most of the time when you have dreams, you can have short dreams, you can have long, drawn out, detailed dreams, but most of the time you can't remember a lot of what was in your dream. And Chantal is over here telling this story about a long, detailed dream that she remembers. So I don't believe her. I think she's making it up as she goes.
And the clothes were like ugly AF. They were like pantsuits for like, I don't know. They were ugly pantsuits. Nothing wrong with the pantsuit, but these ones were not nice. Hi. So I go up to an employee who looked like they didn't want to help me. And I'm like, I need a hijab. They're like, we don't have those here. You have to cross the street, go to Terminal 56. Anyway, just like a huge airport or something. So I'm like, oh, no, I can't. I can't go that far without a hijab. I'm like, I can't leave the store. Then my mom shows up and my uncle for some reason, and they're like trying to help me. My mom like has bought. She used to, when I was in Canada, she used to buy me a lot of clothes. Like if she would see it, like if she was at Maurice's or somewhere, Pennington's, she saw like a nice shirt, she would get it for me. If she thought it would look good on me, and she usually has good style taste, like more conservative because she's my mom. But so she was picking out a shirt, and I went, "Wow, that's nice." You know, it was like a nice blazer shirt.
What is the purpose of this story? I'm waiting for. Is there a point? I'm waiting for the point.
I'm like, now if I can only find a hijab. And I saw the store had curtains that looked like they were made out of chiffon hijabs. So I was like thinking of.
You know, nothing against little Julia. Chantal, every time you do a mukbang, Julia's right there in the camera. Is it because you're not feeding her? Stop being an idiot and stop starving your cat. Feed her before your mukbangs, and that way her belly is full, she's happy, and you could do your mukbang without her just hovering around looking for food the way that BBJ did when you lived at the villa. You yell and scream about the fact that you're not a bad pet owner. At the same time, when you do stuff like this and your cat comes on camera hovering around for food because she doesn't have enough, you prove that you're a bad pet owner. Obviously, you have enough money to feed yourself. Take some of that money and buy some doggone pet food. Buy some kibble. Buy some wet food. Make sure her belly's full.
Taking one. Hi! And using it. But anyway, I ended up finding some clothes. I'm like, how much is it going to be?
What is the purpose of this stupid dream? So she's in a mall and she feels kind of exposed, and here comes mom wanting to buy clothes for her. What is the point of this dream?
And they're like,
nobody cares.
Everything in the store is under, it's like 4 dinar or less.
Yeah, it sounds like she's making up stuff as she goes. This wasn't a dream, y'all. This is just her doing a video and trying to stretch it out and run up the meter so it's at least 10 minutes long so she can monetize it. She didn't have this dream. There's way too much detail. Chantal has a trouble remembering the simplest of things. How is she going to remember a very detailed dream?
So that's awesome.
Julia.
So then I get to the cash. Of this particular bank. So
is this stream over yet?
I'm like, I know I have the money in my account. So I check.
She's still talking about it. Next.
It's not working for whatever reason. So I still have no hijab on.
She's still talking about it.
Panicking and panicking.
Nobody cares.
Super annoying.
You know, I think I know what this is. She's talking about this made up on the fly dream to pivot out of the corner she put herself in. The one where she comes on camera talking about her health issues, talking about her diabetes, talking about her elevated blood sugar. And she knows that by doing this mukbang, a lot of people that are on her channel, her subs, are going to be very, very upset with her. And she's not fully addressing it. She addressed it for like a minute or two, and now she's moving on to talk about something that nobody asked about and nobody cares about. Just like she's doing the tactic of, don't look over here, look over there. That's what this is. Don't look over here, look over there. Don't focus on the fact that I made a big doggone deal about my diabetes and my health problems, and I put them in your faces, and I got you worried and I got them concerned. Yeah, I did that because I wanted attention, but don't pay attention to that right now. Listen to me talk about this dream that makes no sense. Take the microphone
I
away
hate those
from your
dreams.
throat. The crunching noises. Ugh.
See what I have to make for meals. I think making a lentil soup or like some kind of beans is like a really good if you're really hungry. They fill you up. They have a lot of fiber and protein.
Yeah, they do, but you won't eat them. Or if you do, you'll pair the lentil soup with things that you don't need. Like, let me guess. I'm gonna take a guess now, Chantal. I'm gonna guess. You're going to get the lentil soup, but there's gonna be cheese somewhere nearby that you'll pair with the soup. Probably a lot of pita bread. So cheese and bread have got to be in on the menu along with the soup. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't just eat soup by itself because the feedies would not be happy with that. You're going to have cheese somewhere, you're going to have the bread somewhere, and you're going to have soda. And that's just how it's going to be.
I don't really have anything too. I don't have any junk food in my house. The only thing I have is that.
You know why she doesn't have junk food in her house right now, y'all? Because she's Canadian and her YouTube payday is going to hit tomorrow. So they're low on food. She can't get all her takeaways and she can't buy her junk food. She's essentially waiting for payday. Once payday hits, you know what's going to happen. All this health food talk is going to go right out the window. And she's going to come on camera. Look, everybody, I got a 2-for-1 deal on pizza or burgers or something. It was a great deal. Just because it was a great deal doesn't mean you should eat it. But she's going to be so happy. You will see the soda. You will see the burgers. You will see the pizza. Promise you that. She's just waiting for the money to get all those things.
That box of cheesecake I haven't made yet for Salah.
You don't want the cheesecake. That's for you. Why do you keep insisting on saying that all the junk food is his fault and he eats it when you're the one who eats that stuff? Just say the truth. It's for you. That whole cobbler, you ate that. The sweets, you eat those. Not him. Stop blame shifting it on somebody else. It's you, Chantal.
And Mr. Noodles or those like Indomie instant noodles, which we only have a few packs left, but I'll try to save
Well,
those
that's going to be gone by tonight.
for Salah because he.
You're not going to save those noodles for him. You won't. Knowing you, Chantal, you'll make all 3 packs at once because you like to go overboard and because you have food aggression. You don't like to share. So if there's somebody else in the house and you think somebody else might eat something that you like, you'll eat it all at once just to make sure that they don't get to it.
Like I just needed something fast. I was like, I'm so hungry last night. Like,
Then make a doggone sandwich.
I felt guilty after eating because
No, you don't.
I was like, I wanted to go further than over 30 hours. I can't remember. I have to calculate exactly how many hours, but it was a lot, and I couldn't sleep. I had the worst stomach pain this time.
It's called hunger. You went a few hours without food. You're not familiar with the sensation of hunger. You're not familiar with that sensation since you keep yourself constantly fed. You're not familiar with your stomach rumbling. It's a thing, but it's not a big deal. Your stomach starts rumbling, you eat a little something, it shuts up.
I've never experienced that before with fasting, but anyway.
That's because you're always bloated and full of food.
I'm going to start with the intermittent fasting. I think it's better. I feel.
When are you going to start that? When's it going to happen? It ain't going to happen tomorrow. Not going to happen. Payday, food, takeaways, fast food, junk food. She's going to go wild. Money in pocket, it's going to happen. She's not going to fast. She's not.
Feel better physically when I do that. right now. So, um, yeah. So typically, like at least 14 hours usually is what I do.
Don't count in your sleeping hours. Don't count.
Anyway, I guess that's it. I'm gonna finish my salad now. I don't think you guys want to just watch me eat and spit out the olive seeds and everything. And then, um, yeah, I guess that'll be it for now. So,
If anybody thinks that she's just going to be happy with that salad and that meal she just ate, that she doesn't have like a second meal off camera that she's going to be chowing down on, you got another thing coming. She ain't done. I know she ain't done. Want to know how I know? Because when you get full, when you get overly full, you have that moment where your stomach is just stretched and you're letting out that long, deep inhale, exhale, like she hasn't done that yet. She's not full. And Chantal interprets anything below overfull as being, I'm still hungry. That's why she's got to get that bee monster under control, but she hasn't yet. So as long as that bee monster is out of its cage, it's going to run amok, I'm telling you. And as long as it runs amok, the Grim Reaper is going to be right there saying, I might be seeing this one soon, real soon, because that monster is in control of her. She's not in control of it.
so, anyways, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, shut up. All right, so that's it for the video. Let's see if there are any interesting comments from people. So Heather Perry says, it takes 3 days at least to go into ketosis. You fasted for nothing. It wasn't worth it, and you won't get anything out of it. Well, she got something out of it. It wasn't anything good, though. She fasted, and the fasting led to a bee moment. So nothing good came of it. Something bad happened. So it worked backwards. Heather Perry also says, you are so dumb. You said low carb, so you can go into ketosis. You literally fasted for nothing. Now you're eating a high carb meal. The veg already has enough carb. You should not be eating potatoes and a veg, and certainly not that much, a half a cup at most. Well, this is Chantal we're talking about. Y'all don't get it over there. She doesn't care about herself. She doesn't care about her health. She's got an issue with food. She's not seeking therapy. She's not going into inpatient or outpatient. She's not talking to doctors. She's not going to get a checkup inside and out. She's not having tests done to know where all of her organs are at as far as the condition of them. She's not taking the proper steps. All she wants to do is get on YouTube and exploit her problems. She no interest in solving them. Every time she does a mukbang, she's getting closer to the Grim Reaper, not moving further away. When you watch Chantal, you're watching a snuff film in slow motion. You're watching somebody who is saying, I'm not interested in life. I'm interested in having a slow dance with death. And they may pass away off camera. They may pass away on camera. But if it happens on camera, wouldn't it just be really horrible and traumatic? I think so. But as I said earlier, Chantal, she lives her life in front of the camera. So she might want to go out with a bang and show everybody her passing away on a live. I don't want to see that. I'm not interested. Not morbid like that. She's got a fascination with death. I'm not fascinated with death like that. But she would be morbid enough that she would just push herself to kind of make that happen. Charlie says, if you must have mashed potatoes, replace with mashed cauliflower at minimum. Yeah, because mashed cauliflower is actually pretty good. There's a lot of people in her comments that are really angry with her. Ross Wine says, she said she tested her blood sugar not long ago. It's 6 something. So her blood sugar went to literally deadly levels within weeks. Skinny people become diabetes. Chantal said so. There's no point in lying about that. She lies about everything else. Chantal lies Chantal tells on herself, always. That's a constant in her world. Corey says, mashed potatoes have the highest sugar levels. I love mashed potatoes, but way too high in sugar. Yep. Carbs, sugar. Relbuck says, I will never watch you again, you effing liar. Well, some people are waking up over there. Good for you. Gulf Coast Granny says, you have no idea how close to death you are with sugars that high. 3 symptoms of diabetes: craving sweets, carbs, frequent urination, and thirst. Look up symptoms of ketoacidosis. You've got some of those too. Shortness of breath, extreme tiredness, blurred vision, rapid heart rate, abdominal pain, extreme thirst. Well, only a doctor would know where she's at. Only a doctor that can run tests on her, but she just won't let it happen. I don't think she even wants to know where she's at because she knows they're not going to have good news for her. Not at all. Tattooed Witch says, you don't even need to have your PhD. All you need is common sense. I can't even criticize. It's just sad. Someone that has so much is throwing their lives away for food. No, again, that's her choice. She's making a choice. Every time she does a mukbang, she's saying, I don't care about life. I give up on life. I don't want it. I don't want to live. I want to dance with death. I really want to have a slow dance with death. It's sexy. That's her attitude. She's fascinated with death. This is the same woman who watches plane crash videos on YouTube for fun. She's fascinated watching other people die. She's got a weird fascination with death. She just thinks it's a cool thing, to the point where she looks at death as being nothing. What can you do? And let's see. Exxon Mary says, how have you not noticed the nightmare that is your life and health right now? She's noticed, but she doesn't care. All right, look, going on. There's a lot of people, like, they're offering up advice to her and they're saying this is not from a bad place. It doesn't matter if you're doing it from a good place, a bad place, if you're trying to not hurt her feelings. Whatever advice you give Chantal, she's not going to hear you. Trust me. She's an addict, and every time I watch her videos, I look into her eyes. I don't see that wake up moment happening in her eyes, like she's taking it seriously, like she's ready for a change. I see her continuously lying to herself and lying to other people. And as long as she does both, no change can happen at all. Here's something. User says, hi, Chantal. I would like to give you some information on what uncontrolled high blood pressure as well as uncontrolled diabetes can do to your eyes. I work as an ophthalmology technician and have seen firsthand what I will be mentioning. You have an optic nerve, a macula, a retina, and many blood vessels in your eyes. Both diabetes and high blood pressure put a huge strain on the blood vessels, so much that they can leak blood into the eyes and detach. This is not something you can see by looking in the mirror. The pressure in your eyes will increase, putting so much strain and trauma on your optic nerve. Your macula will degenerate. This all leads to vision loss. This is real and progressive. As you age over 40, it is also inevitable that you will develop cataracts. Chantal, you only have 2 eyes. Wear the glasses you used to wear. When was the last time you had a words? When's the last time you had an eye exam? Have you ever had retinal imaging? Have you had an optical topography test? Going blind or extreme loss of vision is an actual real life consequence of your life choices. You need to have your eyes examined. Go today, go tomorrow. Do not wait. I am not a fan of yours, but out of general human decency, am trying to convey how desperately you need to do this before it's too late. Now, what's interesting about that is that some people on Twitter, they have posted screenshots of her lives. It looks like one of Chantal's eyes, something's going on with it. Like she'll look straight ahead and the other eye isn't looking, uh, you know, straight ahead with the other eye. It's going off somewhere. So it would seem that something's going on with her eyes. It could be something unrelated to diabetes. It could be something related to diabetes. But again, this is just one more thing that she needs to be concerned with, and she's not. Her body's giving her signs all over the place that she needs to do something, and she's just not doing it. Because people are screaming at her in the comments. Pika Chupa says, Chantal, you absolutely need inpatient at this point. You are incapable of doing this on your own. You have done this in 2019 and failed. Swallow your huge pride and go home while you still have Canadian healthcare. Here's the thing, Pika. She's been out of Canada for over 6 months. I don't think she has the free healthcare anymore. I think she's lost it because she's been gone from Kuwait. So she's not in her home country of Canada. She is in Kuwait, and she's not a resident. She's on a tourist visa, which means she doesn't have any healthcare benefits in Kuwait. So she's essentially screwed. Absolutely screwed. I don't think Kuwait has any inpatient facilities for her problem with food there anyway. I think she'd have to go back to Canada for that. Let's see. There's people screaming at her in the comments saying, like, what are you doing? You're eating all those carbs. Crazy Chick says, wow, good to see it's all for money and views and not about your health as usual. Sitting there giggling. Well, you won't be giggling soon, will you? Disgusting. Well, nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. You know, she's more concerned about the money and attention and super chats and memberships and engagement than she is about her own health. She doesn't want to take care of herself. Like, she wants to meet that Grim Reaper. Yes, she does. She wants to make a date with him. Quickly. Useless says, so are you just ignoring your clear brain injury stroke situation with your pupils? I don't know if she's had a brain injury. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not a doctor. Only a doctor would know that. But people are saying that there's something going on with her eyes. And like, I don't know. Only a doctor would know what's up. Is that it? Okay, that is it. I think that's it. So that's it for this react, y'all. Chantal. You know, if you're going to do this, if you're going to do the eating of the food, I wish you'd take it off camera. Nobody needs to see you hurt yourself on camera this way. And YouTube is not a place for someone to abuse and misuse the platform. Coming on YouTube, doing your addiction in full view of the public, and looking for YouTube to not only pay for what you do, but other people to fund and enable it as well. It's not what YouTube is for. Anyway, that's it for this react. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and have a good one. Bye now.